So first of all, we want to know, we can start and you guys can go one-on-one or however you guys, we were here a little early. We want to know what the best part of the trip was. Who wants to go first? What do you think your best experience?
I don't know, just, I mean, I would, every time we would go somewhere, I'd tell Liz, we're in Greece. Liz, we're in the Mediterranean Sea. Liz, I'm swimming in the Mediterranean Sea. I mean, for me, I never thought Greece was always a trip that was in my bucket list, but I didn't know if I would be able to do it on my own, or, you know, when the company said Greece, I said, I'm going to Greece. And even when our flights got delayed, I was like, no, Jesus doesn't want me to go to Greece. But we were like, no. I said, we're going to Greece. I said, we're going. I was like, we're going one way or another. We're going to Greece. And we made it, yeah. It was all fun. It was beautiful. It was just, for me, it was a dream come true. Every place we went to, I was just like, wow.
Was it like picture perfect?
It was picture perfect. It was just, yeah. My pictures don't do it justice. I mean, it was beautiful.
You could take like 5 pictures as you're standing here. Take a picture this way, and it's just you wanted to take picture after picture, and then at some point you're just like, okay, just soak it in. It's just that beautiful. I mean, just as we would get to our port, even if you saw a little bit of cement because you need the, it was just beautiful. Everything was just beautiful, and every day we took pictures of where we ported, and it just made us so happy. And I mean, I know that being by the water for me just makes me happy, and so I knew that I would be happy the whole time, and I was. Loved it.
How was your roommate?
She was wonderful.
Perfect. She was perfect.
So for me, it was incredibly overwhelming. My pictures didn't do it justice. I didn't take a whole lot of pictures, unfortunately, because I was living in the moment. And now I'm like, darn, I wish I'd taken more pictures. I think that as those of you who've been on company trips, you know the camaraderie and the way everyone pulled together through the challenges of the flights. Like, Alma texted me, I was walking into the airport, her flight was canceled. I was like, oh, probably not your connection. Get online, start looking, you know, and try to find another flight. Even if you have to pay for it, like, get, you know. So the challenges, worrying about each other, and everyone, by the grace of God, everybody made it onto the ship on time.
We were so scared for you, and we were worried, and our hearts were just going to you.
I was the probably only flight that landed in Athens on time. We were on Air Canada, so we didn't get affected by it. I think it was your flight on time to land in Athens. Were y'all a little behind?
No, we were on time because we left late.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so our flights weren't affected going at all. But they lost my luggage, but I had an air tag in it, so I knew when it showed up for the airport. And Carmen and I darted back. And then on the way home, we had a little, you know, dashing through the airport to make our connection. And our connection, actually, thank God for them, probably were like, hey, there's more coming.
We waited for everything.
We made it. But I guess, you know, not just the camaraderie, but I was very blessed to start with this company when I was 19 years old, and I never envisioned doing something like going to Greece for myself. And John and Marianne, they instilled a dream in us. So now I can say, you know, I've been places, Alaska, Tahiti, Greece. I've been places that, you know, I would have never chose as a travel destination, Coeur d'Alene. But like, you may not choose those as a travel destination, but this company has opened my eyes to travel to areas that, you know, I would have never dreamed of being able to go to. And now, you know, I'm gonna keep traveling and keep dreaming about going to places. And I hope, and I said this in my little email, I hope that Megan continues the tradition of the anniversary trips, because I don't know if y'all know that this was Visible Changes 45-year anniversary trip, and it was supposed to be the 35-year, and then something happened and they changed it to Tahiti. But they didn't lose hope and dream of going to Greece, and we finally made it after all these years to Greece. And this is what John and Marianne really wanted, and this was their last trip with us. And being able to have the mornings to hang out with them and the time that we spent with them was just my favorite. part, and being around people who still do what they love, like Rita and Stephen Walden. Y'all know Stephen. Y'all know he looks like a 12-year-old. And Victor, just those guys who still are doing amazing numbers and doing it for as many years as they have, and they inspired me. Watching Frida and seeing that she still comes to work after, I don't know how many years she's been here, longer than Navi, right? Over 40.
I'm not sure she's
But y'all, she's
and
almost,
it's her age.
she's almost 80 years old.
Yeah.
If y'all didn't know that, and her daughter and her son-in-law and her 2 grandbabies all joined us for dinner in Santorini. Her daughter was on the cruise with us, and her daughter was in Tahiti with us. And I watched her daughter and her family. And I don't know if y'all know this about her daughter, is a breast oncologist. She went to school through the Visible Changes Scholarship, and she's incredibly grateful, sweet young lady. And her family's beautiful, and that was really inspiring to be around Celine and her family. It was encouraging to do that. So for me, just the camaraderie of the trip and seeing everyone and catching up and hearing their stories. I cried a lot. I sat by Myra, Celise, and her husband, and they're just strong. They're just a strong couple, and if y'all know their story, they lost their son 1 year ago. While we were on the trip, they celebrated his 1-year death anniversary, and that was just incredibly, to see that family come through such tragedy and grow from it, and they're just an incredible, inspiring couple. I just really enjoyed getting to know Myra and her husband, and just everybody else that I didn't really know. You know them, but you may not spend time with them, and trips like these just kind of humble me and make me grateful for everything. So.
Well, that's a hard one to follow because there was definitely a lot of that. Definitely like, but on the flip side, there was definitely a lot of interesting things. I discovered that I love men's designer swimsuits. Like you have no idea. All the little intricate different moments of time, like Kathy and myself, and we just met these random people one day on the ship and turned out to friends with other people, and we ended up meeting up and going off-road. We got up really early and got off the ship and went off-road, like way into the mountain, just to have just a little place that was a wine tasting, and nobody else was there, it was just us. And then the big parties with everybody around, the shopping, if you're a shopper, like shopping in Turkey was crazy because they're like, yelling at you to come in with all the designer bags, and you're sitting down, and they're bringing you like Riki and Uzo and however the heck you say that, and
They get you trucks, so you spend money on all their Louis Vuittons,
Yeah.
and their Hermes, and however you say those other designers.
but it was really hanging out with a lot of people, and like they were saying that everything is picture perfect. Every photo that we all took, if you looked at any of it, there's literally no filters.
No,
And I mean,
never
you
use
take
the
a
filter.
photo and you feel like it's a postcard. I will say that it was definitely hotter than Texas. That was a surprise to me. I thought I would be able to handle it. I had some great moments. I think my 2 outstanding moments was one when we went to Santorini. The funny moment was riding that damn donkey. I don't ever want to see another donkey again in my entire life. It was absolutely, probably the most terrified I've ever been. My picture in the beginning, I'm all happy on it, but the wall is here. The space between the road is from here to here. You have
It's not even that wide.
You
It's
have
really not
donkeys
that
going
wide.
up, you have jackasses coming down, I was one of them, and then you have people all in the middle. And I had a trainee donkey, which means he was tied to other people. So on top of the donkey, this is my knee. My knee is level with the wall. You fall over, you're dead. And I was so lucky because the other lady that was tied to the jackass, she kept telling me, calm down, and every time you look at his butt, I'm like, why do I want to look at his butt? Let me tell me to look somewhere else. And so she was so comforting to me, some random woman that I didn't even know, not even with the company, I didn't even know she was on a cruise, just guided to calm me down, but I was shaking when I got off. And when we made it all the way to the top, I was so proud of myself that I did that because it was so terrifying. And then So that was a lot of fun, and even the next morning when we got up, we were standing outside, and I took a photo of me with the screen in the background, and didn't realize there was a donkey peeking out at me. It was kind of like a little funny moment the whole time. But the dinner in Santorini, they took us from, so if you've ever seen it, you know, you go up the hill, which is the white walls where you die. And then you have a gondola that can take you up, but the line was very massive to get up. It was probably about a 2-hour wait. And walking it, I wanted to do, but like I said, the heat was like Imagine Texas times 2. So unless you were prepared for it, like hydrated, I mean, it could be a lot. So the donkey was fun. But anyway, so you get up to the main center, and then the shopping and all of that. So that's where we met everyone where the ski lift got to. And then from there, we kind of wandered around and did some shopping and bought some stuff, had a couple of drinks and whatnot. And then we were then met the entire cruise, which some people stayed on the ship until it was time to do that because they wanted just to wait for that. So everyone had their own different agendas, which was great. But when we got there, we got on shuttles, and then we went to the entire top of the mountain to our restaurant. When I mean the top, there was nothing above it, right guys, at the restaurant. And they hired a professional photographer, which I'm wondering about those pictures. Yeah, to take photos of all of us in groups, and we had a wine tasting at the very top of this mountain. And the restaurant was nothing but glass all the way around. It was like breathtaking. Yeah, it was incredible. And then the next day at Mykonos, the beaches. It was, yeah, we were.
Beaches or the boys?
Designer swimsuits. The beaches were awesome. We got off the ship early again. I think we all did. We got off the ship early again and not staying on it. And we experienced one beach, which was actually 2 together. And then we then went to the other side of the mountain, over a mountain, which I actually recorded the whole scene. And he's talking to somebody. So I was recording because I watched too much Dateline. I was making sure that he wasn't saying he was going to murder me. Because I had yeah, that's my brain. So anyways, we went all the way over to the other side of the mountain, all the way down to this massive, huge party scene that you see everywhere. And it was really great. It was, Megan was feeling 100% by then. And so it was completely food, anything you wanted, it was there. And we kept going in and out of the water. That's when I took a photo where I put my arms up and this ray of light came down. It was really, and that was like no Photoshop either. But we had so much fun because that was the first time the whole group was actually in the ocean together. Because a lot of times we were all just like doing stuff. Because did y'all even get in the water on the ship? I didn't.
No, not in the pool.
Yeah, I didn't even in the pool. So it was just a lot of the really great, interesting moments. And like Kathy was saying, that this has been something that's been planned for a long time. I was fortunate and very blessed because I was awarded it, not for my totals. I was awarded for other things. And that just shows you that the company recognizes things that you do not only with numbers, they recognize you as an individual and things that you do for helping out, for staying late, for doing things, for going above the on the duty. That's what's great about this place. It's just not corporate driven that you have to do something and you're rewarded, which is great because you are rewarded because you do great numbers and by God, that is amazing. But for people that do other stuff too, there's opportunities as well. So I'm very blessed. I was very surprised when I was invited to it. And even being there, I had people talk to me about it. And I've even like driven, like, God, I need to get my numbers up, you know? So I think it's all like back and bone, but the new friendships we made, the new alliances that we have now in other salons, and just the sheer awesomeness of it. So absolutely. Next.
I have notes.
Oh.
Carmen was having fun. Carmen and her husband were having fun.
It was a lot of fun. I experienced all of the things that they have experienced that they have mentioned here today, except that I experienced them with my husband. My husband is very grateful to, and we're both very grateful. He's actually mad at me because I told him that I cut down my hours and I might not go in another company trip, and he wants to go every year, so hey, you have to work. We had excursions almost every day on every island, except when we had visible changes activity.
thing,
Yeah, we did our bike building in one island, which was fun. Nobody has talked about that yet. And then we did the Centurino dinner. Those were the only days that we didn't have excursion. But other than that, we went swimming, sailing, We went wine tasting. We went to a rug market or a rug factory. We actually bought a rug, and that was in. I have to see my notes. That was in
Turkey, right?
Yeah. In Turkey. Yeah, one of the islands in Turkey. I didn't ride the donkeys, but I hiked the donkey trail. I did
Yeah.
up and down. So
You went
that was
Wow.
I mean, that was a challenge. I like hiking, but hiking among donkeys and people, that was pretty scary. I mean, I have videos. Donkeys walk by you like this, and I was like, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. It was pretty scary, but it was a lot of fun. It was, I mean, an amazing experience. If I have to choose my favorite, I would say it was Santorini.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Mykonos, I like a lot too. I went to the beach too, not with a group, but with my husband. We went earlier. Yeah. Yeah. Huh?
Oh, the boys.
The boys.
The designer swimsuit.
Oh yeah, I saw that. He knows. Don't tell Paul. Yeah, no, it was an amazing trip. We faced some of the challenges too, but I mean, it was all worth it. So, good. I'm done.
Thank you.
So I don't know where to start because my experience is very different. It was very,
Get up there. Help her out. You start that.
Okay, let me start to say something then.
Yeah, go
You
ahead.
know, I'm very quiet. Wow, I've been here for 26 years. This is wow, I've never been through this before. But all that disaster in the airport, as soon as when I see the accident, I forget about it.
Yeah.
I forget about the pain. And I buy a lot of stuff. I'm sure some of y'all already received it. I run out of gift. And some of us unappropriate. So but I bought it, you know. Yes.
Oh, I told you.
I bought a lot of this, and then, you know. So I find out the last minute, and Tina was my next door roommate. And I wake up, but somebody was like pounding on the wall. I wake up and say, Kenneth, what is this? Mom, it sounds like you should not go outside. I said, I need to go outside. So I have my camera ready, and I heard two people talking. That was Tina and her daughter. I said, good, they made it on the ship. Then I was like, that's not from there. That was not Tina, but it's Tina's next door's neighbor was doing something wild. And that couple, it's not even pretty couple. They're kind of ugly. They were kind of disappointed. Everybody has a house. I was like, shut the door, it's too loud. 3 a.m. So the second day, as soon as we landing on the first stop, let me tell you, I'm not talking about take a picture, I take video. That's why you never receive anything. Because I take video. Everywhere I go, I would have a 2 phone with me. One run out of the other one with it. I take a lot of video. And I loved everything. And, you know, it just, you cannot explain it. It's totally different from Tahiti. But you know what? The thing is, you think about it. United States is beautiful too. You just look at the different angle. You know, you talk about water, we got Miami. You talk about we have a Hawaii. So, you know, but that's something a little different. But I'm making me more appreciative. I want to work harder. You know, I'm gonna give my number up there again. So y'all, you know what? Come up. Yeah.
And your son had a good time too,
My
right?
son had a good time, but thank you, Xavier. He had a heat stroke. So Xavier, when you come up here, he's not looking right. Like, that's a heat stroke? I didn't know that's a heat stroke. I thought he's just being lazy, don't want to do the Bible. So that was a heat stroke he had. Everywhere we go, just where is it? So happy. He's just so happy under the sunshine. You know, you can see my tan. Already? Yeah. Oh, this is my wallet. I have nowhere to put. Their pants too tight. I gained it away. So.
Megan was sick on most of the trip. You know, she wasn't there. She wasn't there for half of the time.
Yeah.
And she still took care of every single one of us, every issue. Like, I don't have a flight, I'm delayed, we're this, we're that. She was in the hospital, and she still tried to take care and accommodate every single, like 50
Still
of us.
handling stuff
She still
while
handled
she
it.
was in the emergency
She was
room.
in the emergency room for like half of the trip. Her and Doris, like, they took care of everybody. Like, I would have been like, no problem, hon, I can't, like, leave me alone. But she helped every single one. Anything you put on the WhatsApp, she was on it. Anything that went wrong, she was on it. Doris was on it, you know. And considering she was in the hospital, she didn't feel good. She was, I don't know, she had what, was it called?
E. coli,
parasite.
You got one that was like awful already. You got two, both of it? Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't the hospital, it was the ER.
Food
So
poisoning.
she was still doing her, she was still learning it.
Yeah, she
And
was
so I
making
was
sure
like
that we had a great
impressed
time
with that.
and that we were on the
Right,
flights,
yeah.
we were on our way home, or whatever, any issue that we had, she was still on it, you know, she was on top of it. And that's awesome. I mean, they took care of us. John, Mary Ann, they were great. I mean, I'm so grateful to have been placed.
And we're bonded together again. That's how I feel. The
Yeah.
trip, it makes us more stronger.
And Danny came on the trip too, and he stayed back with Megan to take care of her, just him and her. And then when he made it on, you would have thought, just not, if you didn't know him, he was going around and you just thought he was a hairdresser. You know, he was out hanging out with everybody. I mean, just having a lot of fun. And like they said, seeing John and Mary Ann, for those of us that grew up with them, it was how it was when we were young. And so there was those moments in time where I almost forgot, you know, my age, and I was looking at them as mom and dad and going, and it just kind of took me back, and I'm like, wow, it was a really family vibe kind of environment that was incredible.
If you've been on company trips in the past, the only difference is Mary Ann didn't close down the club.
Megan does.
Megan does.
Yeah, she used to close down.
Yeah.
You definitely see, you know, their hearts are in it for us. Like you see
Yeah.
that how much they care about us and how much they want us to be successful.
Also, Visible Changes is very good about giving back. So that's when they organized that
Yeah.
bike event. They donated, or we donated 5 bikes for children, and we were able to assemble them. We made teams, and some of us didn't do a very good job. Some bikes maybe rolling, so we're
Check the bike before they give it to me.
yeah, but it was a really good experience, like a teamwork, and we found out I was on Alma and Liz, someone else, my husband and me, it was 5 of us.
And another husband, he was one of the girls' husbands.
Someone else's husband,
Now we
right?
know why you
And
didn't want it.
I feel like I did a lot on that.
You did.
On that, but I did everything
did.
wrong. And it all started with us putting the handlebar backwards. So from there, everything went wrong. So, but eventually someone came and helped us out, but we were all trying, at least trying, and we did work together.
I think at the end I even came over and
I
helped y'all
even
with
Kathy,
something.
Steven, and someone else, yeah.
I think we helped you tighten the brakes or something.
We did. I mean, it looked like a bike, but it wasn't a bike.
It had
But that was fun, that was a good. And giving back to the community is a big thing with our company too.
Yeah, that was a team building exercise where you
Yeah.
showed up and there was bike parts and everyone started to organize it, and it was just instructions and some hairdressers that did some.
There was this little
Hairdressers
boy at
made
the
us bring
restaurant.
instructions.
Oh, the little boy.
Yeah, there was this cute little boy at the restaurant.
Oh, he was running it.
And John gave him $50.
Yeah.
And he was just so excited about his $50, and I'm just like, so sweet. Like, you know, kids now, yes, $50 is a lot, but this little boy was so excited over his $50, and it just, I'm like, that is so.
He kept coming
But
up
the
to us
waiters
saying
were
we
not
doing a
Too
good job.
happy about it. We had a good time.
I think the food was good too.
That was really, really good.
I love
Okay, go.
We had a really good time.
Yeah, we
And
have to go.
Also, so many of us, I think we were the most out of any salon, to be very honest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
we did a
and
salon
it is,
picture at the
it
very
is
top.
fun to be together. It's also fun to meet other people. But in reality, I think what this is also about is who else is gonna get on board with us, you know? And for me, I have a handful of friends in here, even more than that, and I would love for so many of y'all to be on there with us because it's just so much fun. Even if you say like, I don't know y'all, well, get to know somebody, make a friend, you know? There's never be a moment that you feel like, I don't have friends here, I don't know anyone here. That's completely up to you.
Right.
I have so many people that. I have more than a handful of people that I would love to get on.
Because there was only one first timer on the trip.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's only one person that.
Shelby.
And then she lost her suitcase
Yeah.
for 7 days. The last 2 days she got her suitcase.
On that note, I just want to mention that in my experience, in my case, I didn't make my goal. You know, I didn't meet my $200,000 requirement, but I was close, so I was able to go on that trip because of that. So I pay a portion of it, but it's all worth it. So even if you don't make it, get as close as possible, and you can still go. Yeah.
They recognize.
They recognize your effort, yes.
I was like, what's going on? Boys in swimsuits.
So about the trip, I was very emotional, but I'm glad that I'd be able to go with my daughter.
Put you that or like it, yeah.
It's something that I always want to do with my daughter, to take her on a company trip.
She was running things. She was running things. Very organized.
But overall, I'm just grateful for Megan, because I didn't realize she was in the hospital. While I was doing a lot of complaining and bitching.
What's new?
But she, at the end, I realized she did move the trip to this year for me and my daughter. So I'm grateful for that, because if it were for last year, I wouldn't be able to go. So overall, I would say that I encourage people to get on the trip, because it's very different environment than we are at the salon. You get to know people on a more personal level than a professional level here at the salon, by hi and bye. I mean, unlike other people, more touch and feeling. But I'm at the stage in my life now. I mean, I've been through a lot. I experienced a lot. At this moment, I just want peace in life. So by saying that, it's up to individually, whoever want to go on the trip. But at the end of the day, we do make our own paycheck. Regardless who we work for, it's up to you, because that's your personal goal. My personal goal is to take my daughter on the trip. And I finally get to do it, because back then I have always wanted to do it, but she was too young. And my other personal goal is to raise my daughter the way my mom didn't have the opportunity to do it with me. So everybody's goal is individually, it's different. So my thing is like, do what's best for you. Don't think about doing for the company. But by the end of the day, we all in it together. So if the company did well, we all gonna do well. So remember that. Thank you. That's it.
Come on,
share for the younger people that have never been on a trip or maybe just start hearing about them. Everything is completely taken care of. When I mean everything,
We even get spending money on.
they even give you spending money. Everything is like, you don't even pull out. I went with money and came back with money, and that never happens. Like, I was blown away, like,
You
everywhere you're
forgot
like,
how much money you owe me, remember? That's money you came back with.
I'll give you euros.
Yeah.
You got the picture?
Oh, no, I'm recording, I'm not, somebody take a picture.
Picture of what?
Tina's freshening up a little bit.
I don't know if I,
Wait, we're waiting on Tina.
Yeah, she's freshening up. We're gonna-